I mean, well, let's don't wishy-washy about it. Is the NFL scripted or is it not?
Man, I think they got billions of reasons to have an interest in who's there.
Is the NFL scripted? And I'm going to yell it a little louder because I don't think you heard
Okay.
me. Is
Okay.
the NFL scripted or is it not?
Absolutely. There you go.
Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, so you're a flat earther, NFL scripted.
No,
So we're going all the way that way.
I'm
All
not
the way
getting
with
into
the
all the other
conspiracy theory.
conspiracies, but sometimes when you start labeling yourself sports entertainment and there's billions of dollars on the line, I don't believe there's not some people, blowing some wind in the sail to make the boat move, if that makes sense.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big B Daily. This is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley. Welcome. We are live on YouTube. What's going on, YouTube? And we are live on TikTok. I appreciate everybody being here, man. We have got an interesting show today for you. So we're talking a little bit about Arch Manning and him opting out of EA Sports. Was that the right choice? Was that the right thing to do? Or does it even matter? Second, are the Cavs, they stopped the 11-game win streak of the Celtics. Is that a big deal or not? Are the Cavs for real? They did it without Donovan Mitchell. And then lastly, the Colts placed the tag on Michael Pittman. Was that the right move? Should they sign him to a long-term deal? I know a lot of Chiefs fans out there are disappointed because they thought that Michael Pittman was going to be somebody that they might be able to get in free agency. So we'll cover that and a lot more. We appreciate everybody being here. Again, if you are on TikTok, continue to tap the screen. We are looking to get at least 5,000 likes, 30 new follows. We need as many people in here as possible. So please do that. Also, give us a follow if you're not doing that. And click on the YouTube link in the bio. That'll take you directly to the link over on YouTube. So the live show on YouTube, all you have to do is subscribe. Very, very simple. Subscribe to Big B Sports Talk. We appreciate everybody being in here. Let's get it going, people. So, first thing, Arch Manning, he opts out of the EA Sports new college football game that's coming out. And for me, I'll be honest, I don't know why it's that big of a deal. I really don't. I mean, he opts out. I don't think he even needed to say a reason why. He came out with the reason, said he wants to concentrate on football. I'm like, so you opting in, all you have to do is sign your name on a piece of paper. That's it. You have nothing. There's nothing else that you have to do. So it's not like it's taking your attention away from football by signing a piece of paper that takes you, 5 seconds to sign your name? So it's crazy. That's just crazy. But I don't know. Here's my thing. Do we even know if Arch Manning is really that good? Let's just go down that road. Do we know whether or not he's that good? I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't. So I'm just asking questions that I would love answers to. Do we know whether or not he is good? So that's my first question. We got our man over on YouTube already, my man Bill Kernan. We appreciate you coming in, Bill. We love you, brother. He says Arch Manning opt out, not a big deal. To me, it shows focus. I don't know if it shows focus, though, Bill, because what are you not focusing on? Again, all you're doing is signing your name to a piece of paper saying that you will accept the $600, and that's it. So, I mean, there's nothing else. That's literally the end of it. So where is the focus? I mean, if you signing your name and saying, man, I'm in this college football game, what am I supposed to do? If that's causing you to lose focus, that's another problem altogether. That's all another problem. But I'm just trying to figure out, is he really that good? So my question is, because who else would be ranked the number one player in the country when you play a low division of high school football? You don't go to any football camps, 11 on 11, 7 on 7. You don't do any of those things. So you're not competing against other guys, but you're the number one player. I don't know anybody else that could do that. It has to do a lot with his name, but does he have the talent? I'm going to guess he's got some talent, because I don't think Texas would have said, yeah, we'll take him. Because Texas doesn't need the PR. You know what I mean? Texas doesn't need. Here's somebody that said Texas is a big time college football school, and he's been hyped lately. That's why he made the headlines. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, when's he been hyped lately? I mean, nobody was talking about Arch Manning 2 weeks ago, or a month ago, or 2 months ago. Nobody's been talking about him. There's nothing to talk about. So, and that's the thing. It's like, he's not going to play next year. So why are you worried? You don't want to be in a football game when you're not the starter? Is that it? Or is it he didn't get enough? $600 is not enough for him to sign over his name and likeness, because if you sign over for $600 to be in the game, maybe that gives other people the opportunity to try to lowball you, and you don't want to set that precedence. If he just came out and said that, I'd be more willing to take that seriously, and for him to just say nothing. So that's my whole thing. On whether he's good or not, my man Gwindo, thanks for coming back to the show, Gwindo. We appreciate you, man. He says, who knows? We haven't seen enough play time. Exactly. So we just don't know how good he actually is. So Taryn Howard says it took more time and effort to say, I'm not going to be in it, and why. Exactly. That's my whole thing. It took more time for whoever to draft a statement for him to say he's not coming out than just signing on the dotted line and saying yes. Weird. But to me, I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't. I know people want to talk about it because of who he is and who his uncles are and who his grandfather is. And I get that part. But I think for the most part, we're all adults. We like to see football, and you can have a grandfather and you can have uncles that are all superstars, Hall of Famers. But if you aren't, then do we care? You know what I'm saying? If you can't play, yeah, it's great that you got the Manning name, but I don't care. And I think that's how a lot of you guys feel, man. Because we're educated sports fans that come in here, man, every morning. And I think you guys are kind of like me. It's like, yeah, I get it. So what's the big deal? Show me something on the football field and I'll get excited. But until I see something on the football field, I'm not going to get excited. I think that's kind of what we're looking at. So, and somebody said Quinn staying did him dirty. I don't think it really did. Do we think that Quinn Ewers is that good of a quarterback? Do we think that he's just this phenomenal quarterback that's a first-round talent? I don't think so. I mean, is Quinn Ewers better than Penix? Better than Bo Nix? I mean, is he better than J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jalen Daniels? Is he better than any of those guys? So I say no. And somebody points out he can't stay healthy. Boom. That's exactly right. Quinn Ewers stayed, and I was told this. He stayed because he's got to be able to show that he can play a full college season healthy before he can go to the pros. Because they are going to eat him alive if he would have went to the pros. Man, you can't stay healthy. And why should we draft you? I mean, you're going to play, 8, 9 games a year? We can't draft a guy like that. That's not what we're paying for. So I get it. But yeah, with Arch Manning, though, I just got to see it to believe it. And again, I'm not here saying that he can't play. I just think a lot of hype for somebody that we've never seen play is crazy to me. Just seems crazy to me. And if his name was Arch Randolph, would anybody care? I mean, let me just ask you guys that question. If no, I wouldn't say another Colt McCoy. Somebody over on the chat and in TikTok said another Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy played like 12, 13 years in the NFL. So let's and Colt McCoy had some talent and he was around for a while. So that's a bad comparison. Was he a dominant player? No. But yeah, Colt McCoy played for a while. So no, I said there's been no hype. Nobody was talking about him. I didn't say there was no hype. I said nobody was talking about him a month ago or 2 months ago. Don't try to twist words. It's all good, my man. If his name was Arch Randolph, he wouldn't be opted out of the game. Exactly, Gavin. That's my whole thing. If he was Arch Randolph, would this even be news? I guess is a better question. A backup quarterback at Texas says he doesn't want to be in EA Sports. At some point, we got to stop the hype train. Heck, I'm part of it. I'm talking about it on my show, and I don't have to. But people want to hear about it. People want to hear about it. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Talking isn't hype. So I don't know what you're talking about, but I get it. I appreciate your opinion. Yours is a backup NFL quarterback, probably. Nothing wrong with that, though. It's one of the best jobs in America, a backup quarterback in the NFL. So that's kind of what it is. But yeah, him opting out, I don't know. Let me ask you all this. I was just talking to a friend of mine. He doesn't think that the game's going to have any staying power. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that EA Sports, the college football game, is going to have some staying power? I think it is. I think people are going to love it. They've been waiting for it. The only reason they stopped doing it is because they didn't want to get sued, because players couldn't get paid and they were going to get sued. And now that they can pay these guys, even though it's $600, and $600 is still $600. I think it's going to have some staying power. I think people are going to love it. So I think people are going to love it. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Here's the thing, and I'll let you guys make this decision. I'm not a big video game guy. Like I stopped playing Madden 12, 13 years ago. Like I stopped buying Xbox and PlayStations. I just stopped doing that. That just wasn't my thing. Because literally that's the only thing that I played was Madden. I played Madden and I played college football. I didn't do anything else. Should I buy a new PlayStation and get this game? So again, it might end up being a waste of money. My wife's not going to like it. So, and my man says I'm not missing much. That's what I'm saying. It's like, should I buy one and then get the game? Number one, I might be in the game. If they got a K-State 1998, which that was the best team K-State's ever had, shoot. They might have a vintage K-State 1998. And if they do, I'm going to be in the game. Left guard, number 73. And I'm going to need my money too, EA Sports. Just so we're clear, I'm going to need my money, EA Sports, all $600. Give it to me. Otherwise, you better not put Big B in there. So, don't you do it. Or run me my money. Period. End of story. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to do it. My man, Pat Cockrell, he says, the video game has staying power for sure. I've been playing NCAA 14 game now for a decade. I can't wait for the new one to finally drop. That's what a lot of people that I have heard have said. They've been running that I guess it's not a franchise, but they've been playing that game and creating a dynasty forever. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to get with the missus and see if she'll let me buy it. So, my man Kyle says, nope, smart move, stay out. Why? That's what it is. Arch was a 72 overall rating, and they didn't like that. I mean, it's a video game. And if I'm not mistaken, again, I'm not up on video games, so you guys can call me a casual. You can call me ignorant. Don't they up your grades as the season goes on, or is that just for Madden? Are they going to do that with college football? Like during the season, if you play better than what your rating is, don't they change your ratings and stuff like that? I don't know. I thought that's what they did. So I thought that's what they did. And if they do that in college, I think it'll be great. So y'all have to forgive me, man. I am under the weather. So I've got cough drops that I am taking, and I'm going to continue to take. Otherwise, I'm not even going to be able to talk to you. So I appreciate your all's patience. Again, as always, we're going to go to the next topic here. But as always, everybody continue to tap the screen if you are on TikTok. We need to get 5,000 likes and at least 30 new follows. So we need as many followers and as many people in the conversation as possible. I appreciate your all support. Keep tapping that screen for us. So, and on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't already. Same thing with TikTok, man. If you're on TikTok and you want to come over to YouTube, there's literally a link in my bio. You click it, it will take you directly to this live. So we appreciate that. Let's move on. Changing it up here, talking NBA. Man, the Celtics were on a roll. They had won 11 straight, playing outstanding basketball. They just come off of just crushing Golden State, just embarrassed them. They go to Cleveland, and they're up 21. They are just beating the brakes off of Cleveland, and then Cleveland comes back in the fourth quarter and wins the game. Crazy. Now, there was a call at the end of that game. They called a foul on on Darius Garland guarding Jason Tatum. I don't know if any of y'all saw the game, but it turned into they reversed the call and didn't give him the foul. And I thought it was a good call because I didn't think there was a foul. Yeah, I didn't think that he fouled him. I mean, he didn't even touch him. If the only touching was Tatum pushed off to get free, and then they overturned the call. So it was crazy. But good win for Cleveland, and it was without Donovan Mitchell. You know, Donovan Mitchell is a bona fide superstar in the NBA. He's been out, and the Cavs were able to pull that off without Donovan Mitchell on the court. Good win for the Cavs. Good win for the Cavs. So, yeah, they're definitely, D. Thomas, there definitely was no foul on that play. I mean, at some point, officials got to stop. You know, we bag on officials all the time, but that was ridiculous. That was egregious. There was literally no foul. That's right, Gwendo. It was an offensive foul. He pushed off. So, thanks for the gift, Matt, man. We appreciate it. That was the whole thing. So, I just, at some point, officiating has got to stop making those kinds of calls so you don't have to challenge it. Because let's just say Cleveland was out of challenges. That's how the game was going to end? With Tatum making free throws on a foul that wasn't a foul? If anything, it was a foul on him. The NBA won't, or the officials won't stop because the NBA won't hold them accountable. Same in the other sports. Says my man, Lord Bandit. Yeah, you're right. There's no accountability. And until we have some real accountability, it's tough. It's tough. So, my man Gwendo says the Celtics let off the gas. Yeah, they probably did. They probably did. So, hopefully that they Well, here's the thing. The Celtics are a good basketball team. That's number one. The Celtics are a good basketball team. They're the best team in the NBA, in my opinion. And maybe they just let off the gas and they let the Cavs win this one. So, 80 Deuce Jeff says, so many offensive push-offs in the NBA and college today. Yeah. But they call them a little more in college than they do in the NBA. In the NBA, guys throw that little flipper out there, that little flipper. They call that, they throw that out there all the time, in the NBA, and they let people get by with it. It's just like they let people travel in the NBA. Heck, and I saw some games. It was last night. They were letting people I was like, in college, I'm like, come on, man. Gather step. I'm like, gather step is a travel. Let's just move on. So, gather step is a travel. My man Pat Cockrell says, no, Big B, the Thunder are the best team in the league. Not the team that I saw get the brakes beat off them by the Lakers the other night. Because the Lakers aren't any good. And they put the smackdown on the Thunder. And yes, I know it was back-to-back. I get it. I do like the Thunder, though. The Thunder are really good. Thunder are really good. So, they don't have any playoff experience, and that might come back to bite them in the playoffs, but the Thunder are good. I like the Thunder. I definitely like the Thunder. So, let's see here. What do we got? My man Darren Howard, I can't wait to see what the NBA is considering doing about their handcuffing of defense. Fix it. There's been reports that the NBA is supposed to come out with some new rules that they're going to allow for more defense to be played. I mean, it's not even hard to fix. Go back and just eliminate the defensive 3-second rule. If you eliminate that, a lot of this will change. Guys are going to have to change their game because they're going to have the mid-range will become part of basketball again. The mid-range will start to become it will become part of somebody's basketball game again. And the reason why is because if you get rid of the NBA 3-second rule, a guy like Rudy Gobert is just going to camp in the paint. And then what? You're not going to just continuously challenge him. You're going to have to pull up. I mean, and I don't see why that can't be part of people's game now. I don't get it. It's like shooting a 10 to 15 to 18 footer is bad. I'm like, that's not bad. So that's just not bad. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. NBA's got a long way to go to change some stuff. But I like what the Cavs did last night. I thought they showed some perseverance in the face of a little bit of adversity. They were getting their head beat in and came back. Celtics let off the gas so much that they allowed it. Good for the Cavs, man. Good for the Cavs. My man Chuck Miller says, why did they even put in the defensive 3-second rule? Because they wanted more scoring. That's why. They wanted more free flow offense and they wanted more scoring. So that's what it is. They wanted people to be able to drive to the basket. You can bring a big out, and then he's not underneath the stop to rim protect. And if you bring the big out, you can drive to the basket without any deterrent. That's literally what it was, which is weird because Allen Iverson used to drive to the basket with a deterrent, and that didn't stop him. And he was the smallest guy on the court. So, but it is what it is. I hope they do make the changes because I think the NBA needs something. They need some defenses. They need defense back in the game. They've eliminated defense. That's the same way with the NFL. They just eliminated defense for scoring and excitement, and I think you got to allow that to be part of the game. So that's just my opinion. We're going to move on, though. We appreciate everybody's opinion. Again, as always, we're over 5,000 likes on TikTok, man. We might as well try to get 8. So keep tapping the screen. And if you're not following, please give us a follow, man. We appreciate it. And if you want to be part of the YouTube Live, click on the link in my bio. Give me a follow. Click on the link in my bio. and it's right there. It'll take you directly to this live. And don't forget, you subscribe to Big B Sports Talk on YouTube. So last topic, the Colts placed the price tag on Pittman. A lot of Kansas City Chiefs fans are upset because for some reason the Chiefs fans were just dead set that they were going to get Pittman in free agency, which I don't know why, because I didn't think there was any chance that the Colts were going to let him go. So I like the fact that they placed the tag. They'll probably end up getting a deal done before the season starts. Good for them. Good for him. But is it smart? I should say. I mean, the Colts, does anybody think the Colts are a wide receiver away? So I don't know. I don't know why, if they think that he's a wide receiver, or they're a wide receiver away. They got some other needs, but I think they needed him because they needed a weapon. If AR-15 is coming back and you want him to be your QB1, he's going to need some guys to throw to. And him and Pittman's, their chemistry while he was playing, it wasn't very good at the beginning of the year. It wasn't very good. So they're going to have to work on that in the offseason because AR-15 got a rude awakening to the NFL, trying to run through guys. You can't run through guys, man. This is not college. And he was trying to run through too many lines, and he paid the price. Paid the price. Throw the ball away. Run out of bounds. It's okay. You don't have to prove you're a tough guy, man. You're in the NFL. You're already tough. You can't just run through everybody. That's not how this works. You're not built for that. You're a quarterback. Throw the ball away. So, my man Wakan says, do you see Pittman signing a long-term deal? I do. Or can you see a tag and trade if no deal? No. Well, let me just say this. The Colts would be insane if they signed and then they traded him. You need Pittman. I mean, you need him. So why not sign him? You got this young quarterback. Give him a weapon. And not to mention, Michael Pittman Jr. is really, really good. So he's really, really good. So I don't think that it would be smart not to sign him to a long-term deal. But they did sign Jonathan Taylor. And that's what teams don't usually do. They don't usually sign a running back and a wide receiver to long-term deals. And they did sign Jonathan Taylor last year. So are they going to sign Pittman? I don't know. That's my thing. That guy, Drew. Pittman's really good, but I don't know, man. It just, how many teams have we seen that have a long-term deal for a running back and a long-term deal for a wide receiver? And does it work out? Other than McCaffrey and Debo, because they're not paying their quarterback anything. So there's not many out there that do that. And are those teams successful? I mean, we'll see. We will see. So, but I like Pittman. I think the Colts got to sign him to a long-term deal. They got to keep him around. Again, you're not paying a quarterback anything, so you have that luxury for a few years to pay this guy. But let me kind of switch topics in the middle of this topic. Do we like AR-15? Do we think AR-15 is that guy? I don't. I didn't like him coming out. I know he had a couple of flashes in the pan, but you know how many guys have had a flash in the pan in the NFL that didn't turn out? I don't like him. So I don't. I shouldn't say I don't like him because that's not fair. Hell, I don't know him. I don't like him to be this star that everybody keeps saying. Let me say that. I don't think he is. So he was inaccurate as a college quarterback. He was inaccurate this year. Now he's got the injury bug because he didn't just get hurt once. He got hurt several times. So I don't know that I actually like, I still don't. The one thing that I will agree with is that although he got hurt, I thought Gardner Minshew should have been the starter from day one, and that AR-15 should have just learned from him. Sat. There's nothing. If Patrick Mahomes can sit a year, why can't Anthony Richardson? I thought he should have sat and just learned and understood, got better, worked on his mechanics, because he had a crazy arm, but his lower body mechanics were just awful. They were awful at Florida. They were awful this year. So he actually got to do that. Unfortunately, he got hurt, and that's how he got to do that. So, my man Austin says, don't know if there's a QB with a lower floor and higher ceiling than AR-15. That's very accurate, Austin. Very accurate. Lower floor, or he's got a super low floor and a super high ceiling. Very accurate. People saying that he's Cam Newton, no. It's not the same. I know he's big, but Cam Newton used to run through people and was big until he couldn't. And once he couldn't, what happened? That was the end of his career. Because he hurt his shoulder. I remember that night in Pittsburgh, and that was the end of it for Cam. He couldn't throw the ball anymore. Lost his fastball. And again, I apologize, people. I got cough drops in. I am not feeling good at all. So just bear with me. If I don't have them in, I won't even be able to talk to you because I'm coughing up a storm. So I appreciate y'all being patient. Thanks for the gifts, Ginger. We appreciate it, my man. So we're going to see, man. So I look like I love watching NASCAR. I have never watched a NASCAR race a day in my life. Not a day in my life. I think I've seen the Daytona 500 start once. No, 3 times. That's about it. That is about it. I'm not into racing. That's just not my thing. I used to be in the Indy 500 when I was a kid because I grew up in Indiana. And once I figured out that the same teams were going to win the Indy 500, that there was really no competition, I was out. I'm like, this is not appealing. I am done. So I am done. Just crazy. I was just like, hell, the same teams win over and over again. This is not competitive. It's terrible. So we're going to move on, people. We're going to move on and open this thing up to everybody. So I appreciate everybody being in here today. Again, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time, Big B Daily. We are live on TikTok. What's going on TikTok? We are live on YouTube. We appreciate everybody being here. We have crushed the likes. We wanted 5,000. We're at 7,600. Let's just go to 10 today. Let's try to get 10. We appreciate it. And over on YouTube, everybody keep jumping in on YouTube, man. We appreciate it. Come on over. Join the live. If you're on TikTok, all you got to do is click on the link in my bio. It'll take you directly to this live. So very, very easy. My man, Bill Kernan. What's going on, Bill? AR-15 wants to run first, throw second, or he panics and pulls it down. Yeah, he's got to work on that. He's got to work on that. So we can't just try to run through people. You can't do that. Got to learn. Got to learn. So, and like I said, I think other than him being hurt, that sucks. But him sitting on the sidelines all those weeks and watching, that helps. So, that absolutely helps. My man Gwendo said it's just like Arch Manning. We haven't seen enough of AR-15. No, but at least we've seen him. We haven't even seen Manning, any competitive snaps. The difference with AR, he just got to figure some stuff out. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay. Let's see. What do we got over on TikTok? Who most likely to win the NCAA tournament, says my man Zach. Well, I think UConn is the popular pick. UConn is the popular pick, but I'm going to have to see what the brackets look like. My man Ginger Snap, he said North Carolina. I don't disagree. I like North Carolina. I think they got guard play. I think they got an inside presence. But the problem with North Carolina, they're inconsistent. So I don't know. Duke, Duke, no, I don't like Duke. I don't like Duke. I shouldn't say I don't like them. I don't think they're going to win it. I don't think they're going to win it. So Houston. Now, Houston, here's the thing about Houston, people. Houston plays that crazy tough defense. They get after you. They also rebound the ball like a mother. When the shot goes up on either end, they are sending everybody to the glass. So you better be physical. But what separates this Houston team from other Houston teams is they've got several guys that can make shots. In the past, they haven't had that, and that's always gotten them into trouble. Well, now they've got several guys that can make shots. And when you got guys that can make shots in the NCAA tournament from the guard position or wing position, you're in business. You're in business. So my man Gwendo says the NCAA is all about the bracket. Daggone right, man. Daggone right. Wakan says, what NCAA sleeper team could be dangerous, Big B? I say Iowa State. Watch out for Iowa State and Creighton. That's crazy because they're both fairly close to each other, Iowa and Nebraska. But watch out for Iowa State and Creighton. Here's another team that nobody's talking about, Gonzaga. Look out for Gonzaga. My man Michael says Dayton. So Dayton Flyers. But those are some teams that can be sleepers. Now, again, matchups matter. So you can't pick, or at least me. You can't just sit there and say, oh, I think they're going to make it to the Final Four. You have no idea right now what the bracket's going to look like. Because you could get into a situation where you see matchup and there's no dominant team anymore. You know, there's been years past when you can say Kentucky, Kansas, North Carolina, they're just better than everybody. Villanova, didn't matter what the bracket looked like. They were just better than everybody. That's not the case anymore. And I'll be flat out honest with you. I love that. I love that. I love the fact that parity has taken over college basketball. I love it. That anybody can win. Anybody can win. My man Gwendo says college basketball or the NCAA is all about guard play. It is in the tournament. It is in the tournament. And it's funny that you say that, Gwendo, because Big B is coming out with a guide to March Madness book here very, very soon. And it gives you a breakdown of all of that. Who to look for, strategies on how to win your bracket, all that good stuff, man. It'll be cheap. It'll be informative. It'll be out in time for you guys to pick up. I mean, it's just a guide, you know. It'll be informative. Get to know, some strategies, where to go to find some strategies. I mean, not to mention, we're going to get the Big B bracket challenge going. We're definitely going to have that. I mean, if you don't think we're going to have that, y'all are nuts. We are absolutely going to have that. So, and I just think, that guide, it's going to help us. It's going to help us. Everybody, we're going to not only get in the Big B bracket challenge, we're going to go to these other ones. Y'all are going to use it and go win some other brackets. So, Austin, you think NIL has contributed to parity? No, I think the transfer portal contributed to the basketball parity, not NIL. Not saying NIL doesn't have a role in college basketball, but it's definitely more prevalent in football. But the transfer portal is what changed for basketball. That's why the transfer portal and one and done. That's what's contributed the most to the parity in college basketball. Transfer portal and the one and done rule. Because the NBA has, and I know I've said it a million times and I'll keep saying it. The NBA has decided that if you are not in the NBA by the time you're 19, 20 years old that you're not any good. Well, NIL helps because now they're like, well, screw you, NBA. I can stay in college and still make good money. Maybe not NBA money, but I can still make good money and stay here. And then I'll come out. It's going to take that a minute to cycle through. But once it does, I think the NBA product will actually get better because they're going to get more developed guys that come into the league versus they come in at 19. You got to spend 3 years trying to develop them and get their fundamentals better because AAU basketball has destroyed fundamentals. So it will take a little time. So here's another team to keep your eye on, Baylor Bears. Keep your eye on the Baylor Bears. They got a proven coach. They got guys that can score. They definitely have guard play. They're athletic. Watch out for Baylor. And why is nobody talking about Arizona? Why isn't anybody giving Arizona the credit? I mean, Arizona is really, really good. I've been listening to a lot of procrastinators, whatever, people talking about basketball. I have heard nobody say, oh, man, Arizona's really good. I mean, they can't. I haven't heard anybody say that Arizona can win it. I just haven't. So JD says the Jayhawks, this is not KU's year. This is not KU's year. Now, the one thing that I will say that KU has that nobody else has, Bill Self. And when you got Bill Self, you have a leg up on everybody. You know, there's certain coaches that you, when you see them in your bracket, you're like, man, I hope they get beat before we play them. Bill Self, Tom Izzo. I mean, think about if Michigan State's an 8 or a 9 and they get out of that 8-9 game and you're the 1 seed and you got to play Michigan State. You don't want to do that. You don't want no part of that. So, yeah, I mean, you got to hope that they lose because Michigan State, Tom Izzo always finds a way to get in the Sweet 16. Lord have mercy. There's just certain coaches that you don't want no part of in that NCAA tournament, man. Those are the two big ones. It's crazy. So, and you're right, Gwendo. Arizona's out west and nobody sees them. You're right. Not enough people see them because they play those super late games. People ain't staying up that late. You know, if you started the games but they can't. I get it because you can't start a game at 4 o'clock Pacific time. But you can start it at 7 or 8. But they don't do that. They start at Eastern time. They start them super late. 9 or 10 o'clock on the East Coast. People are going to bed. Including myself. I'm too old. I'm not staying up till 3 o'clock on a Tuesday to watch a college basketball. I'm just not. So, well, look, man, I appreciate everybody that's in here. I want to, again, announce that. Thank you guys for being on the show. Again, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time, Big B Daily. We appreciate it. Live on TikTok, live on YouTube. We're almost to 10K on TikTok. We're almost to 10K. So, and again, everybody that's on TikTok, if you are not following, please give us a follow, man. Please give us a follow. So, my man Bill Kernan says, the Pac-12 as barren as the desert. Yeah, the Pac-12 they're going to have 2 teams make the tournament this year. Maybe 3. It's up in the air of whether Utah or Colorado get in. That's terrible. To me, that's terrible. So, Dalton said, big win by Florida last night. Absolutely. Smacked around Alabama. Now, that's a team I don't trust, is Alabama this year. I like the coach. Nate Oates is a really good coach, and he's good in the tournament. But for some reason, this Alabama team, I just don't trust them. I just don't trust them. They don't play enough defense for me. They don't play enough defense. So I just don't trust them. But Nate Oates is good in the tournament. You can't take that away from him. He's been good. So, He has definitely been good. But like I said, I like Tom Izzo, or let me just go by the teams. The teams, if I had to pick a Final Four and you said, Big B, who is your Final Four today? Houston, UConn. I really like Tennessee. I really like Tennessee. And then there's going to be somebody that nobody thinks is going to make it, a surprise team. I'm going to say it's going to be a mid-major team. Give me Dayton this year. Give me Dayton this year. So, frauds in the NCAA tournament, Kentucky, Alabama, Purdue. I'm done with Purdue. Look, I know Purdue might be different this year. I get it. But until I see Purdue in the tournament beat a team with athletic wings, I'm just not going to do it, man. I can't do it. Matt Painter refuses to change his philosophy. He won't do it regardless. North Carolina, I'm not a believer in North Carolina in the tournament. I think North Carolina might get to the Sweet 16. I think they get beat, though. I just do. Jason said USC. Crazy. Y'all are nuts. So, yeah, that's a good point, Bill. Don't let Izzo in, man. You let Tom Izzo. You give Tom Izzo an inch, he's going to take a mile in that NCAA tournament. Don't you do it. Whew. I don't know Gwendo, I don't know that you should worry about Tennessee's shooting. They can score this year. They're averaging 80 a game. That's been their problem in previous years. Early in the season, I thought the same thing. I said, man, freaking Tennessee can't score. That's been their MO forever. That's not the case this year. Tennessee can score the basketball. Number one, they might have the best player in the country. That's number one. But they can score the basketball, man. They can score the basketball. So, somebody said, my man Bruce Deere over on TikTok said, Russell Wilson to Pittsburgh. You know, I'm starting to lean more on wanting Russell Wilson over Justin Fields. Matter of fact, I'm there. I would rather have Russell Wilson than Justin Fields at this point. I would rather have that. Yep. I just, look, we've seen Justin Fields, and I'm not saying he's had a fair shake, but Justin Fields is also on the verge of having to pay him a bunch of money and make decisions on his contract. We don't have to do that with Russell Wilson. You can play this out, and we can sign you for 2 years, $12 million, or we can restructure it after a year. But Russell Wilson, days of him making 50, 60, 70 million, he ain't going to make that. He knows that. So come to Pittsburgh and make something happen. And Pittsburgh got a roster. They have got a roster. So we need to fine-tune some stuff. We need another corner. We need some linebacker help. Definitely still need O-line help. Steelers can make a run at this thing again. So I don't know about training baby hands Pickett, though, Bruce. I am 100% out on baby hands Pickett. I am out. So, and no, Chuck, Russ was not horrible last year. That's the misconception. Everybody thinks he was just horrible. He wasn't horrible. He wasn't horrible at all. But Bruce, no, baby hands is not a young kid. That's the misconception. He came into the league, I think he was 24 when he got into the NFL. He's not a young kid. Yeah, he's older than Jalen Hurts. So no, baby hands is not a young kid. He's only a year younger than Lamar Jackson. No, man, he's out. I'm just out on baby hands. I'm out. So I think Russell Wilson would be a much better fit. Not to mention the Steelers don't have to give up any draft capital to get Russell Wilson. They're going to have to give up some draft capital to get Justin Fields. And as much as I love the Steelers, we don't need to be giving up draft picks, man. We need guys that can help us. So anybody in the first 4 to 5 rounds the Steelers can draft that we think can help us right away, we don't need to give that to Chicago. So we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. The Steelers are in win now mode. Win now mode. And as quiet as it's kept, have y'all noticed that Mike Tomlin hasn't gotten a contract extension? Have y'all noticed that? Because I have. I've noticed. They haven't given Mike Tomlin this contract extension yet. And I like the fact that the Rooneys are saying, no, we're not going to redo you after 2 years. We're going to make you earn this thing because we're tired of the mediocrity. It's time to go win. It's time to go win some playoff games. It's time to be competitive. And when I mean competitive, I don't mean we're going to make the playoffs, but we have no chance to win. I mean, we're going to make the playoffs and we're going to win a couple of games. That's the kind of competitive that we're looking for in Pittsburgh. And I think the Rooneys are like, we love you, Tomlin, but we got to win. And enough of the just getting by. Enough of the just getting by. So we'll see. We will see. And I think because here's the thing that I know for an absolute fact. If Russell Wilson was on the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, they win a playoff game. Now, I'm not saying it's against Buffalo, but I'm saying the Steelers would have a better record. They'd have won at least 12 games. So they'd have had a better record. They would have been a better team. They just would have. They just would have. As much as we think Russ, whatever he is, put Russell on the Steelers last year. You're telling me they won 10 games. You don't think they could have won 2 more games? They couldn't have beat New England. They couldn't have beat Arizona. There's games that they could have won that they lost. So I like the Steelers. I like Russell Wilson going there. Hopefully that we can make that work. I think that makes the most sense. And don't give the Bears a draft pick for Justin Fields. Don't do it. We don't have to be that desperate. And hopefully Russell Wilson sees us and says, you know what? I'd rather be in Pittsburgh than Atlanta because Atlanta might be a good fit too. Or I'd rather be in Pittsburgh than Las Vegas or Minnesota or Washington. And I think he would. If the Bears trade Fields, I say LA Rams and McVay will make a good landing spot for a backup role. Depends on how long Stafford's going to play. I mean, if Stafford's going to play 3 or 4 more years, then no, that wouldn't make any sense. But if this is the last year for Stafford, then maybe. I'm not sure Stafford is slowing down. I mean, Stafford was a top 10 quarterback last year. Stafford was a top 10 quarterback last year and played some really good football the second half of the season. Matthew Stafford was lights out. So we'll see. But I think I've had it, people. I made it as long as I possibly could. I apologize. I'm just under the weather. But I made it as long as I could, man. So we're going to shut this one down today. I appreciate everybody being here. Again, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time, Big B Daily. We are live on YouTube. We are live on TikTok. Tell people about us. Tell them to come in. It's entertaining. It's fun. We do whatever we can to have a good time. TikTok, if you're not following, please give me a follow, man. I appreciate it. And then just click on the YouTube link. Come on over to YouTube. We want to try to get as many people over to YouTube as possible. You get a lot more access to stuff on YouTube. The live is a little bit better. And there's things that you will have access to that you don't have access to on TikTok. So we appreciate all that. Other than that, man, I will holler. We will be back tomorrow. Aloha.